Hi, my name is Simone and I'm the Zen Mommy. I help people with spiritual awakening and navigating ascension. And today I want to make a video. Um, I'm not sure what I want to do a topic about. It's been quite a few weeks since my last video. And I know a lot's been going on and stuff, and I still have no excuse. So I'm just gonna, I guess I do a basic little vlog update about myself, what's been going on with me and my spiritual journey in my life. And one of the things that came to my awareness um, is I started to notice that my life is going in like a loop, like there's a certain pattern happening. And it didn't really hit me. Like I'll get, doing videos, I get some out, I feel like I'm on top of things, I'm getting back on track. And then, I kind of fall back and I get, overwhelmed or, not really overwhelmed, but, I get engaged in personal life and being busy. Not really busy, just with all that's going on, and then having, my husband home from work, and my son, and I got back into making a lot of excuses and stuff, and so, but I didn't realize I was in a pattern until I was talking to my husband, and we were talking about one of my friends and a few people that I knew actually. And I started to talk about how, there's certain people that I've dealt with friendship or, a little hummingbird is in my bird feeder. So let's just say friendship, friends, associates, whatever. I started to notice that their lives were in patterns, how they were dealing with some of the same issues. I would see some growth, and then it was kind of like they would go full circle to dealing with some of the same issues, and they kind of back to where they started. Not so much exactly where they started, because some growth will happen. So this pattern is going up, but it's just going up a little slower. And when my husband was just like, he said, people are in patterns, and ding, it hit me. I was like, I've been in a pattern. Like, I need to break the pattern I am. I'm like, so do you feel like you're in a pattern, or like, the days start to repeat themselves, that you're in a routine? Like you wake up with your same routine. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you have breakfast. You do whatever you have planned, but then by the time you go to bed, the next night, it's like the day is kind of the same. And so I noticed that my life had gotten into this pattern, and then part of the pattern is I had so many days not recording videos that it just became easy. And I started to see, like, I'm in a pattern. Like, I'm having this where I'm getting these videos out, and then I'm back to feeling like I'm not doing enough. I'm not making enough. I don't know how to encourage myself and that kind of thing. And so when that hit me, I was just like, I'm in a pattern and I got to break this pattern. And I remember once when I took plant medicine, that's what ayahuasca exactly told me, is that I needed to break the patterns to move forward. And so thinking about that, I'm not even sure, even though now that the awareness has come to me that I'm in this pattern, that I'm doing like the same things that are holding me back from some of my goals and desires. Even doing it, there's a part of me that's still like, that I have to push to want to break it. And so I had read somewhere about this, learning about the spiritual journey, that one of the key things you have to do is you have to break routines. Because, see, the spiritual journey is unexpected. There's pure potentiality. That means the potentials where you could be headed are unlimited. The different timelines that your life can take are limited. But if you stay doing the same patterns, if you have the same issue that keeps coming up, it's an issue that maybe you need to work through. Maybe need to heal. Maybe it's a shadow thing or a childhood trauma, and it's the one thing that's blocking you from moving forward, in these patterns that we hold dearly. And so, thinking about that and making this video today, and I had gotten used to making videos. The last 3 days I had mostly by myself, Dorian, they called him back to his job. He was laid off for a while. At first, I had mentioned that he was still essential, but obviously he wasn't essential enough. But it was good because we had a lot of time we got to spend together. We really needed that. Since we've been together, it seems like all he's been doing was working. So that was great. But now he went back, and then my son got picked up for the week for the last few days, and so I was just on the phone with him, and he said, "So are you gonna make a video?" And I was like, I had all the intentions to make a video, right? But then I started getting busy doing things, working on my garden and stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do a video before Storm gets home today. And I said, let me just break my pattern that I'm getting into. And so I guess, this probably isn't the greatest video to do, but I just, I feel like something is holding me back sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I have a block. And I know the thing that, really helps me with the block is connecting to people and connecting to my YouTube channel and helping others. Like when I hear from someone, if someone makes a comment or if someone, messages me, tells me I helped them, that actually helps me a lot. It makes me feel good. And I started to realize like a part of my pattern here that I keep going through. So the key is for me now that I'm realizing I got to break this pattern. Like I'm making this video now, although I didn't feel confident about making a video right now. I felt like I needed to break the pattern to make the video. I also need to break the pattern by connecting to people more. That's one of the things that's been a theme in some of my spiritual lessons lately, from taking psychedelics and stuff. Is a big lesson I learned is, Simone, you don't connect to people well. And I know that sounds crazy because I'm Zen Mom and a YouTuber, right? But the truth is, there's a reason why that. And I did some shadow work in my garden the other day, and I went down the childhood lane to find out, why do I have a problem getting close to people? Like, I don't really like talking on the phone. I don't really like, getting really close to somebody and hanging out and stuff like that. Like, I like talking to people. I like making friends. But when it comes down to it, I have an unconscious fear of getting close to anyone. And so I started to look back and I was just like, why am I having this? Why am I, and I was meditating. Why am I, if you ask when you're meditating, part of shadow work is you want to ask yourself, your soul, your subconscious, you find that there's an issue and you wonder, why am I going through this? Like I'm saying, why am I not connecting with people? You ask yourself that in meditation, right? I ask myself in meditation, my subconscious mind began to show me, okay, so start to look. I started to go back to the church I was in. So most of you know that I grew up in a religious church. It was Christian, it was religious, it was controlling, and it was a cult. But I didn't know it was that, and I didn't call it was that either. But after getting out and learning what the properties of a cult is, I started to learn that was it. But while I was there, that was my whole life, and everybody there was supposed to be friends, and we were supposed to be family. And see, being an orphan, I really attached on to the church, the family vibe, how we're there for each other. We pray for each other. We help each other. If one is in need, we'll go help them. If they're sick, we'll go take care of them in their house. If they're new and starting off, we'll donate them furniture. And then the young people, we hung out together when I was young. We would do things together. So we developed bonds with each other. And because of these bonds and because of the fact that we were in this church, we had this belief system where, we needed to be with like-minded people who were in our same faith. So it was frowned upon to make connections with people outside of the church. And so during the church, I had a lot of connections with people. There's a lot of people I just loved. People that just was my friend, people I went to high school with, friends and people I went to high school with, to college with, and just friends in my age range that I grew up with, and stayed in the college dorms with. And then when it came to my time period where I had to leave, and I didn't do anything wrong to leave. And the reason why I left, it was unclear to me, like why I couldn't come, because I had lost my home and I had lost my job and my car wasn't working. So I had to rent a room with someone who was unsafe. So I had broke the rule of connecting to another individual. I'm just like, it was another single mom, and I felt like this would have been safe, but they're like, no. So they told me I couldn't go back for like 30 days. And they say you have 30 days to find yourself a new job and a new car and all this stuff. And so I was distraught because the people I grew up with, I loved them. They were my family. And to think that, and then the fact that they had instilled to me that Jesus was life, and now I couldn't have my Jesus because of this. And it took me 30 days to realize I was going to go back. I really was. I had got the stuff I needed, but I remember I got desperate to get that stuff. And I did things I didn't want to be involved in to try to get things in order to get back. And reality had begun to hit me. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if this is right, And then deep down, I had a daughter there, and something in my soul told me not to raise her there. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes our intuition is key in things. And a lot of times the church, they are against you. They're against you using your intuition. And so I didn't go back, but I knew that would be a great risk of losing all my friends and all my family. And, get to the point where you see a church member or ex-church member. I mean, if you're an ex-church member, you see them in public, and there's a lot. It's a huge church. So in Bay Area, I remember always running into them. But now they're snobbing me when I look at them, when they see me. And I'm like, oh, hi, somebody I grew up with. I knew for years, right? It shouldn't matter that I'm not there anymore. But nope, they look at you a certain way. And so I think that it went into the shadow how heartbroken I was about losing the connection to the people who I thought was my family. And so in doing the shadow, doing the shadow work, I started to look further about like why was these connections so important to me then. And I go all the way back to the foster cares I was in, being an orphan. Every time I got to a new home or felt like it was going good or felt close to the foster mother and even got to the point of calling her mother, then she would turn on me and set me up for something, set me up. I remember one time I was set up. She read my personal diary. They set me up and told me I stole something that turned out when they found out the truth who really stole it, they didn't even apologize. And I started to see that this is a harsh world. I'm not even in high school. I started to see that this is a harsh world. You can't connect to people like that. And then with my birth mother, the number one connection I had, my birth mother, my biological family, and I know I don't talk about them much. My mother had schizophrenia, and I know you guys have, if you read my videos before, you know the story, that I was taken away at the age of 10. And then I thought it was temporary, that I would go home. The doctor told me she just needs to take her medication. And so I begged for a meeting with her. And I said, Mommy, please take the medication. No, first thing I said is, no, I wrote her a letter saying, please take the medication. I really want to see you. Then I prayed for a visit. And when I finally visited her, I was like, Mom, do you miss me? And she says, no, I just missed the welfare check. Now I understand that she had schizophrenia and she wasn't all mentally there, but I was heartbroken. That was the only love that I really knew. But besides her, I had love from my family that she had, and it really broke my heart that she had 9 brothers and sisters. And I was sent to foster care. One of the aunties actually took me. And, and I went and I stayed for a while and I was happy at least a relative took me. But, some abusive things happened. And some things that was really hurtful happened to me while I was in her house with the people she associated with. And again, that went into my shadow. And I didn't really deal with that pain. And I started to see, not only my family wanted to connect to me anymore, And I guess I started to realize that I started to realize I just felt so rejected by the people who said they loved me. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cry. I, I felt so rejected by them and then by my birth mother. And I just started to learn that this world is really, really cruel. And I went to these foster homes. And the one that stuck, the foster home that was in this church, I was like, I finally, God is real. People love you. But the moment that I was gone, the love was gone. So I really don't care what anybody say about Jesus and Christianity and none of that. Because if you can take away your love, that is not God. And I did not mean to go into all of this. But I realize that affects me now when it comes to connecting to people and developing friendships. Like, I just got to the point that I'm thankful that I have a husband and we have a little son. And I just got to the point where I'm just thankful. And I won't, I try to avoid getting really close to people, because then when I do get really close to people, I end up getting taken advantage of in some way. And so I guess that's keeping me in the pattern, because, people can really, when you really connect to people, it can bring you life. It can bring you love. You gotta be willing to do it. You gotta be just kind of like with my relationship. It was really hard after going through all these toxic, abusive men to like accept love. And I pushed him away a lot. And I told you guys about that in the soulmate video. And it got to the point where I was almost going to push him all the way away. And I had to realize that, love comes with trust. And just because someone did something to you in the past, it doesn't mean that they'll do it to you again. And, it really took some healing to get to this point in my relationship where I'm in love and I trust him and I know he won't hurt me. But now I have to start trusting people. And I feel like this whole disconnection to people is kind of coming through on my channel, because I feel like it kind of blocks me from coming forward and making more videos sometimes, and being it's just a lot of things have happened. Like a lot of fears came up. When you hold on to patterns, things manifest like old fears. Fear of not saying the right thing, or fear that some haters are going to take me down. And, there was a time where I didn't feel that way, but when you start to expose these things inside of you, it starts to all come out. I'm very sorry I got emotional. But I guess I really never talked about that like that. And anyways, so I have a pattern that I need to break. And I don't know really where to start with breaking it. And I have I just know I want out of this loop. And I want to ascend this loop, because I feel like if I stay in this loop, I'm just gonna be like, I feel like, yeah, I raise my vibration and I come up higher, but I still keep circling in this loop of the energy. And there are things that I could be doing to break the loop. And so I guess that's what I'm gonna be working on, is breaking my daily patterns and daily routines, and trying to connect to people more. I've gotten really comfortable and safe just being home with my husband, especially with the quarantine and all. It's just, I've gotten comfortable with that. And I want so much more out of this life. And I really love you guys. I know you feel like I don't really know you, but I can feel your energy. And when you comment and interact with me and tell me what my channel does for you, it means so much to me. And a lot of times I often feel like I wish we were friends and I wish we could meet up. And because the people that I would want to be friends is people that resonate on this spiritual journey with me. And eventually, I was thinking next year, because all that's going on now is like, hosting a retreat, you know, of people with like mind, just get together, hang out for like a few days or a week. It's something I wanted to plan, and that could be my step to trying to connect with people. You know, how could I have all these goals when, like, I've always had a goal to have retreats and stuff, but if I can't connect to people, I can't have anything. And so, okay, I feel like so embarrassed that I had just cried and admitted all that. And so I feel like I should shut this off now. And I'm going to watch this, and maybe not. I will upload it. We will see. I guess you'll never see this video if I agree, if I decide not to. I did not expect to do that. Thank you for watching. Peace and love. Namaste.